Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For today's box opening, we're going to take a look at Jumpstart 2022 and see if we can mix and match for maximum mayhem. Let's crack this thing open and see what kind of value one of these boxes still holds. There are still 83 cards in this set valued over $1, including 22 mythics, 37 rares, 13 uncommons, and 11 commons. So, you know, let's try and get some of that. In total, all 834 cards in this set, plus all of the theme tokens, are valued at around $600. So let's just start cracking these things open and see how many mythic themes we can get. All right, so this one starts off with a Think Again, which is going to have Jace, the Arcane Strategist mythic coming in, followed by a Spectral Sailor, then a Fairy Vandal, Serum Visions, Memory to Genius, Soul Read, Merfolk Pupil with an Ikite, a Mystic Skyfish, a Teferi's Protege, a Tome Anima, a Steel Gaze Griffin with a Drag Under, and a Thriving Isle. And then behind that, we are going to see all of our Jumpstart lands. So let's go ahead and make a couple of piles here. So we'll put our tokens to the side, put our rares and mythics over here, and we'll even track our mythics. All right, so this one's going to start off with a Fiery, and inside we are going to see a Magmatic Channeler with a Banefire for a second rare, then a Chandra's Preling, then we're going to see a Coldborn Entity, Flames of the Firebrand, Chandra's Spitfire, followed by a Bittersplit Gremlin, Goblin Researcher, Wildfire Elemental, Pillar of Flame, Thrill of Possibility, with a Fiery Intervention, a Thriving Bluff, and then our mountains in the back. So this set came out on December 2nd, 2022, so it's been out for quite a while, but I think it just kind of came out at the wrong time for it to be super well received. This one's actually constructed much better than the set-specific Jumpstarts. So this one's got a Wolves, which is going to have a Kessick Cagebreakers as our rare, with a Feed the Pack as a second rare. Then we're going to see the Mild-Mannered Librarian, Predator's Howl, Wolf Willow Haven, Arlen Voice of the Pack in the Japanese alternate art or anime, then the Sporeback Wolf, Ferocious Pup, Bounding Wolf, Spectral Hunt Caller, Prey Upon, Hunger of Howlpack, and a Thriving Grove with our forests in the back. So there are, I believe, 15 cards in this set currently valued over $10. So we'll keep an eye out for those. I'll call them out if I see them. So we got a Constellation with an Archon of Sun's Grace. Fantastic if you're playing enchantments. Then we've got a Sage's Reverie, Blessed Spirits, Favor of Ironis, Spectral Steel, Chains of Custody, Glory Bearers, Transcendent Envoy, Captivating Unicorn, Forced Worship, Pious Wayfarer, Spirited Companion, and a Thriving Heath with our plains in the back. So far we have not seen any of the mythic themes. So this set is broken down into mythics, rares, and common themes. I'll be putting them on the screen so that way you'll know that. So if it's a common theme, that means it's going to have 4 different variants. If it's a rare theme, it'll have 2 variants. And if it's a mythic, every mythic theme is exactly the same of that particular theme. All right, so we're going to see a Mechanized Production coming in. Decent little hit there. Another mythic, Hold for Questioning, with a Magnifying Glass, a Shambling Suit, Filigree Attendant, Dutiful Replicator, the Floodhound, the Valdalkin Engineer, Drownyard Explorers, Gearseeker Serpent, Press for Answers, Jace's Scrutiny, a Thriving Isle, and our islands in the back. I'm just going to make a little extra room here, stack up those cards there, and we'll just keep on going. All right, so we are going to see Holy coming in, and Holy is going to have Lyra the Dawnbringer coming in as a mythic hit. Lyra's got a little bit of value. Then we got an Angelic Cub, an Emancipation Angel, Starnheim Aspirant with a Defy Death, Chains of Custody, Pilgrim of the Ages, Stalwart Valkyrie, Dawning Angel, Anointer of Valor, Light of Hope, Divine Arrow, and a thriving heath with our planes in the back. So I would say in order to make your money back, you really need to hit 2 mythics or get super lucky like we just did. So this is multi-headed. So this is a rare theme. So there are 2 variants of this. However, we're going to see the Benevolent Hydra because it's in every single one of the multi-headed themes. And there it is. So that's going to be one of our big hits, valued over $12. Then we get a Domesticated Hydra, Clockwork Hydra, Feral Hydra, Hydra's Growth, Servant of the Scale, Islin Catallid, Furted, Adventurous Impulse, Scale the Heights, Hunter's Edge, with a Soul's Might, and a Thriving Grove. So the themes, like these packs are not random as far as the cards inside of them. So every single mythic theme is exactly the same 20 cards, no matter what. From a rare perspective, there are 2 sets of 20 cards, and from a common perspective, there are 4 sets of 20 different cards. So in this case, we're going to see demons, and we're going to see a Demon of Catastrophes as our rare, with a second rare, Saison, Perverter of Truth, with a Conductor of Cacophony, Disciple of Perdition, Demon's Disciple, Dreadhound, Infernal Idol, Diabolic Edict, Doomed Dissenter, Tekanuma Bleeder, with the Demonic Gifts, a Demon Grasp, and a Thriving Moor, with our swamps in the back. All right, so that takes us to the end of stack number 1. No home runs yet, but these boxes can take a little while to find that mythic hit. All right, we got another Wolves here, so this could be the exact same as the one we just saw, or it could be completely different. All right, so it is different. We're going to see a Master of the Wild Hunt coming in, followed by a Mild-Mannered Librarian, Howlgeist, Moonlit Haunt, Arlen Voice of the Pack, the Young Wolf, Pestilent Wolf, Bounding Wolf, Ferocious Pup, Spectral Hunt Caller, Prey Upon, with a Howl of the Hunt, and a Thriving Grove in the back, with our basic lands. And unlike Jumpstart 1, or the original Jumpstart, none of the lands in this set are really valued, or at least none of the basic lands, because there is, in the original Jumpstart, it was 1 Jumpstart land, and then the rest were M21 lands. In this case, they're all Jumpstart, so they're pretty common. All right, so we got ourselves Fangs here. Now, Fangs is a common theme. There are 4 different variants, but we have the chance, a 50% chance, of getting Raldolph Dustbringer, which is a $10 card. So let's see what we got here. There we go. We did it. We got Raldolph the Dustbringer coming in here. Nice $10 hit for us with a Blood Tracker. Then we're going to see an Oathsworn Vampire, Bloodthirsty Aerialist, Falconwrath Noble, Vampiric Rites, Creeping Bloodsucker, Marauding Blight Priest, Vampire Envoy, Moment of Craving, Ill-Gotten Inheritance, Certain Death, and then a Thriving Moor in the back with a swamp. Rather, a bunch of swamps. All right, next up we are going to see Zombies. And Zombies is going to have a Liliana's Mastery with a Deadly Plot, Lord of the Accursed, Undead Augur, Cellar Door, Suspicious Shambler, Shambling Ghoul, Crow of Dark Tidings, Marauding Bone Slasher, Malefield Twins, Dead Weight, Cemetery Recruitment with a Thriving Moor, and some swamps in the back. All right, just made a mess of my common uncommons. Try and clean that up. I don't know why they're sliding. All right, next theme booster here. Getting pretty close to the halfway point if we're not already there. We're going to see Experimental. And Experimental is going to have Mizzix's Replica Rider coming in as our rare, with a Grotag Knight Rider, Cyclops Electromancer, Spark of Creativity, Act on Impulse, with a Thermo Alchemist, Spark Mage Apprentice, Crystallis Elemental, Goblin Researcher, the Firebolt, Electric Revelation, Electrify, and a Thriving Bluff. All right, so this one kicks off with Law coming out of white. And Law is going to have a Decree of Justice with a Magnanimous Magistrate, an Arrest, Phalanx Tactics, Unquestioned Authority, Law Rune Enforcer, Ninth Bridge Patrol, Cameo of Ancient Law, the Midnight Guard, the Night Guard Patrol, the Skyhunter Patrol, Radiant's Judgment, and a Thriving Heath with our planes. All right, 3 more packs to go in this stack. And still, I don't think we've seen any mythic themes. All right, so we got Boneyard coming in out of black. And we're going to see an Oversold Cemetery, followed by an Ossuary Rats, Stitcher Supplier, Revenant, Necrotic Wound, Suspicious Shambler, the Wailing Ghoul, the Pit Keeper, followed by the Spark Reaver, the Gorging Vulture, the Moodmark Painter, Corpse Churn, and a Thriving Moor. Yep, just swamps in the back. I've only seen one instance where there was something else back there, but it wasn't anything of any value. It wasn't like a mythic or anything. All right, so we're going to see Inventive coming in here. And Inventive is going to have the Steel Overseer, followed by Thopter Spy Network. Then we're going to see Launch Mishap, Whirler Rogue, Clockwork Hydra, a Whirlmaker, Gearsmith Prodigy with an Aviation Pioneer, Pilgrim's Eye, Gear Seeker Serpent, an Aether Spellbomb with an Artificer's Epiphany and a Thriving Isle, followed by a Seat of the Synod, and then our islands. All right, final pack in stack number 2. I think the best I've done is 4 mythics, maybe 5 in a single box. And so far, we're kind of striking out. We got Ferocious here. And Ferocious is going to contain Goreclaw, Terror of Kal Sisma, with an Nessian Hornbeetle, Challenger Troll, Roar of the Challenge, Colossal Majesty, with the Catarid, Drowsing Tyrannodon, Giant Ladybug, Gaia's Protector, with a Spectral Hunt Caller, Rosethorn Halberd, Savage Punch, and a Thriving Grove, with some forests in the back. All right, so I'm going to take a half a second, break that pile down so I get a little bit of room to work here. Put those on camera, and we'll just keep on going. So if I'm not mistaken, these used to be double wrapped, and they, at least I believe they were. So this might be a second printing, not 100% sure. So we got ourselves a treasure here. Treasure is a common theme. However, we could see the Goldspan Dragon. Let's see. And we're going to see, the Professional Facebreaker as our rare with a Blood Aspirant, a Pyre Sledge Arsonist, Rapacious Dragon, Barrage Ogre, Goldhound, Reckless Fireweaver, the Dutiful Replicator, Brazen Freebooter, Goldvein Pick, Improvised Weaponry, a Welding Sparks, followed by a Thriving Bluff and some Mountains. I was really hoping we would see the Goldspan Dragon. We've only got 2 big hits so far, and there's 15 to get. So maybe we'll see a go-to-school theme, and we'll get lucky with the Rhystic Study. All right, so we are going to see Cycling coming in here. And Cycling is going to contain Yadaro the Wandering Monster. If anything ever said Cycling, it's him. Then we're going to see the Flame Blade Adept, the Rooting Moloch, Reptilian Reflection, Deemworthy, Draneth Stinger, Prickly Marmoset, the Quakefoot Cyclops, Plundering Predator, Lava Serpent, Go for Blood, with a Shred Sails, Forgotten Cave, and a Thriving Bluff, with some mountains. All right, moving on. All right, so we're going to see Gross here. Gross coming out of black here. So black has the most cards valued over $1 out of any color. So you kind of want black themes. All right, so we're going to see a Phyrexian Plague Lord with a Plague Crafter, Skull Slither Worm, Phyrexian Reclamation, Blighted Fen, Blight Keeper, Durable Coil Bug, with a Death Bloom Thallid, Devouring Swarm, Phyrexian Debaser, Eaten Alive, with a Fungal Infection, a Grotesque Mutation, and a Thriving Moor, with our swamps. I think we're down to about 6 more theme boosters here. I doubt these are all going to be mythics, so this box may not be so good when compared to some of the others. Although maybe I just spoke too soon. So we just got Urza's. This is a mythic theme and one of the best themes that you can get in here. You'll see why in a half a second. So we've got Karn Liberated. So Karn is currently valued at $12, and right behind that is going to be the Walking Ballista, also valued at $12. And that's why the Urza's theme is one that you want to get. So we got a Golem Artisan with a Meteor Golem, Planner Atlas, Urza's Factory, Lochtwain Gargoyle, Ruin Servitor, Mannequin, Thought Mage's Familiar, a Universal Solvent with an Alchemist Vial, an Expedition Map. Then we're going to see Urza's Tower, Urza's Tower, Urza's Tower. Then we've got Urza's Power Plant, and then Mine and Mine. Fantastic. And the Urza's Mine and Power Plant are both valued over $1. So definitely significant value in that theme. And again, in my opinion, that's probably the one that you want to see at least in every single box. The other one you want to see is Go to School, but you have a 50-50 shot of getting the Rhystic Study. So fingers crossed. And we got it. All right, fantastic. So this box won't be a complete dud. So Rhystic Study is the most valuable card in the set at $41. Fantastic. And then right behind that, we are going to see a multiple choice with a Biblioplex Kraken, Casmina Enigma Mentor, an Overwhelmed Apprentice, a Dismiss, Merfolk Pupil, Campus Guide, Teferi's Protege, Elite Instructor, Academy Journey Mage, Burying Books, and a Thriving Isle with some islands. So extremely happy to see Rhystic Study join the pack over there. So that's now 5 cards valued over $10, and one of them is valued over $40. Amazing. So this feels a little bit like Monday's box opening with Phyrexia All Will Be One. If you missed that, I highly encourage you to go back and watch that. What is taking my focus? All right. So we got Fangs here. We got Tyvash Gloom Summoner as our rare, with an Oathsworn Vampire coming in the Japanese art, with a Blood Artist, Vampire Bond, or Blood Bond Vampire, Ancient Craving, Creeping Bloodsucker, which is going to be a card valued over $1. Then we get a Vampire Envoy, Marauding Blight Priest, Nikira Assassin, Moment of Craving, Ill-Gotten Inheritance, A Certain Death, and a Thriving Moor with our basic lands in the back. All right, so we've got 2 themes to go here. Just in case that's taking the focus, I'll flip it upside down. All right, we are going to see Morbid coming out of black. And Morbid is going to have Reaper from the Abyss as a mythic coming in, with Disciple of Perdition, Mortuck Banshee, The Spawning Pit, Bone Picker, Suspicious Shambler, followed by a Tragic Slip, a Weak Dancer, Liliana Steward, Durable Coil Bug, the Village Rites, the Reeve Soul, and then we're going to see a Mortuary Mire with a Thriving Moor, and our basic swamps in the back. All right, final theme here. Let's see, I would love for this to be Rats. So Rats is a mythic theme and contains the second most valuable card in the set, and that's Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm. It is not. It is black, but it is gross. All right, so we get a Deathbringer Regent, and that is definitely a gross pack. We've got a Plague Crafter, Skull Slither Worm, Karul Swarm, Deathwind, Blightkeeper, Durable Coil Bug, Dune Beetle, Devouring Swarm, Eaten Alive, Grotesque Mutation, Infernal Idol, and a Thriving Moor with our basic swamps in the back. In today's MTG box analysis, we'll start off with a review of the Jumpstart 2022 themes. Then we'll move into a comparison of the cards in the set to the cards that we actually saw. Then we'll take a look at set coverage, coverage by rarity, and duplication. From a value perspective, we'll look at the set value and the actual value observed in the box, and we'll close it out with a summary. I've also prepared a comparison of the 5 boxes that we opened thus far on the channel. If you want to go deeper into the analysis and see all of the metrics for this box and at least 100 others, simply join the channel at the Give Me the Data level. Let's start things off by taking a look at the 46 different themes available in Jumpstart 2022. Each of the colors of Magic features 2 mythic themes, 3 rare themes, and 4 common themes. Then there's one colorless theme called Urza's, which is also a mythic theme. There's only a single variant of each of the mythic themes, 2 variants of each of the rare themes, and 4 variants of each of the common themes. And since there's 11 mythic themes, 15 rare themes, and 20 common themes, that means that there's a total of 121 variants available in Jumpstart 2022. Now let's compare the cards that we saw in this box to the set. This chart shows all the cards we saw in green and the set in gray as the baseline. From a card perspective, based on the themes that we saw 1 colorless, 36 white, 39 blue, 91 black, 46 red and green, as well as 27 artifacts, 36 non-basic lands, and 158 basic lands. From a coverage perspective, we saw 283 unique cards out of a possible 834 in the set, which means that we saw 34% coverage. Our highest coverage among the primary colors of Magic was in black, seeing 50%. Pivoting the coverage by rarity, we saw 37% of the commons, 33% of the uncommons, as well as 25 unique rares for 21% coverage, and 6 mythics for 19% coverage. From a theme variant perspective, we saw 15 common themes for 19% coverage, 8 rare themes for 27% coverage, and 1 mythic theme for 9% coverage. From a duplication perspective, the majority of the repeats were in the basic lands as expected. We ended up seeing 52 cards duplicated 197 times for a box duplication rate of 41%. However, if we back out all of those basic lands, only 37 cards were repeated 91 times for a duplication rate of 17%. Now, before we take a look at the value that we saw in this box, let's baseline with a look at the market prices of the cards in the Jumpstart 2022 set. This chart shows all 834 cards in the set, and the values you see are based upon market prices from April 11th, 2023. Currently, the set features 12 cards valued over $10. The top 2 are Ash Coat of Shadow Swarm, valued at $37.19, and Rhystic Study, valued at $41.72. The set also features 13 cards valued between $5 and $10, and 55 cards valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 754 cards are currently valued less than $1. If you were to add up the total value of all 834 cards, you'd be looking at a market value of $596.77. Now let's take a look at the actual observed value in this box. I'd say we did pretty good considering we hit 5 of the 12 cards valued over $10. We saw Rodolph the Dustbringer valued at $10.73, the Benevolent Hydra at $12.78, and then from our 1 mythic theme, we saw Karn Liberated and the Walking Ballista valued at $12.83 and $13.21 respectively. And finally, we saw the most valuable card in the set, the Rhystic Study, valued at $41.72. We also pulled 3 cards valued between $5 and $10 and 16 cards valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 456 cards that we saw were all valued less than $1. So how did this box perform? Well, I purchased this box through a Patreon agreement for $89 even. The current market price for these boxes as of April 11th, 2023 is $107.24. Today's Jumpstart booster box contained 24 theme packs, each with 20 cards, allowing us to see a total of 480 cards. The 24 tokens that we saw have a market value of $4.14. The 158 basic lands have a market value of $12.60. The 198 commons are currently valued at $36.55, and the 93 uncommons have a value of $31.34. Those 25 rares are currently valued at $102.15, and finally, the 6 mythics are valued at $22.79. Add it all up, and the grand total for this box comes up to an amazing $209.57 in market value, which is a gain of $120.57 over the price I paid, and means that this box returned 235% of my purchase price in card value. Now, for those of you interested in cards valued just over $2, the numbers look like this. In total, we saw 13 cards valued over $2 in this box, and they have a current combined value of $127.83, which means that those 13 cards represent 61% of the total box value and more than paid for the box. Was this the best box we've ever opened on the channel? Let's find out. Over the life of the set, I've paid different amounts for the boxes, but they've all been within a few dollars of each other until now. Through a special relationship, I was able to obtain this box for $89 even. Now, from a coverage perspective, these boxes are very consistent, seeing between 30 and 34% of the cards in every single box. What has varied are the number of themes by rarity. For the common themes, we've seen 16 twice, but have also seen that number as high as 18 and as low as 14, and today's box was in alignment with 15. From a rare theme perspective, I've now seen 5 once, 4 twice, and 8 twice. And from a mythic perspective, I've now seen anywhere between 1 and 4, with 1 occurring twice, 4 occurring twice, and 2 occurring once. From a card perspective, the boxes have ranged between 23 and 28 rares and 4 to 8 mythics, and today's box was right in the middle with 25 rares and 6 mythics. From a value perspective, I've adjusted all of the prices of the previous boxes to today's market value, so we're doing a true apple-to-apple comparison. The tokens and lands are generally producing around $17 in value per box. The commons have been as low as $22 and as high as $40, and today's box came in on the high end at $36. The uncommons have ranged between $22 and $37 per box, again with today's box coming in at the high end at $31. The rares are ranging somewhere between $35 and $88 until today's box, when we saw $102.15 in rare card value. Finally, in the mythic category, we've seen between $14 and $53 in value, with today's box being a little bit on the low end at $22.79. In the end, these 5 boxes have contained between $110.13 and $222.47 in total card value, putting these 5 boxes at an average return of $176.65. And while today's box didn't yield the most card value, it was technically the most profitable because of the lower cost of the box. Today's box returned 235%, whereas the first box, opened in December, only returned 214%. I hope you've enjoyed this look back and comparison of 5 different Jumpstart 2022 booster boxes. If you did, drop me a comment and let me know. If you have some feedback, leave me a comment about that too. Thank you so much for watching. I want to take a moment to give a special shout out to all of the channel members. Your support helps fund this operation and allows me to create the content that you all enjoy. If you're not yet a channel member, I invite you to consider becoming one. By joining, you'll gain early access to videos and many other perks. If you're interested in supporting the channel but don't want to become a member, there are several other ways that you can show your support. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue with the channel. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, do something amazing.